Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What we're seeing right now is some serious drama unfolding in the NFL, specifically involving a potential target for the Pittsburgh Steelers that has everyone talking. And no, it's not just about the games or the plays. This time, it's about the politics behind the scenes, the trades, and the ambitions of both players and organizations. We're talking about Jakobi Meyers, a wide receiver who's currently with the Las Vegas Raiders, but who has been making waves because of his ongoing fight to leave the organization. This isn't just a simple trade request. It's a story about determination, loyalty, and the relentless pursuit of better career opportunities. Meyers has been very vocal about his desire to get out of Vegas, and that's something that could have major implications for the Steelers down the line, especially considering their ongoing quest to bolster their receiving core and make that next step towards Super Bowl glory. Now, Meyers has been quite open in his recent statements. He spoke to the media for the first time since requesting a trade, and it was clear that he's not giving up easily. He's been fighting for his future, his family's security, and his career, and he's ready to keep pushing until he gets what he wants. Meyers has made it very clear that unless the Raiders give him an extension, something he's been asking for, the fight isn't over. He's not just going to accept being stuck in limbo or being traded for a less than favorable deal. Instead, he's planning to continue practicing, playing, and showing his loyalty to his teammates, all while maintaining his stance that he deserves better. Meyers said, "I asked. They said no." That's where that stopped, and it's clear he's not backing down from that. For Meyers, it's a matter of respect, of fighting for his place, and of insisting that his worth is recognized. And it's interesting to see how he's approaching this situation. Despite the obstacles, Meyers emphasizes that his drive to take care of his family remains unchanged. He's not willing to let this issue go quietly. "For me, it don't stop," he said. "I'm still pushing to take care of my family every day, so if it stops for them, I'm gonna have to bring it back up or something. For me, it ain't dead yet. I'm gonna keep fighting." That kind of mentality is exactly what you want from a player who's hungry for success. And it's exactly the kind of attitude that could make things very complicated for the Raiders if they decide to hold on to him against his wishes. Meyers has also expressed uncertainty about what the Raiders are thinking, whether they would be willing to give him an extension or not. Raiders general manager John Spidek has said there are no plans to trade Meyers, but as we all know, in the NFL, things can change rapidly. This situation is especially interesting because, if things don't go the way Meyers wants, the Raiders might consider trading him at the upcoming deadline. That's an option that could come into play, and it's a move that the Steelers, if they see an opportunity, might keep close tabs on. Last year, the Steelers made a savvy move by trading for Mike Williams at the trade deadline, adding depth and experience to their receiving core. If Meyers becomes available again this season, there's a real possibility that Pittsburgh could be looking to make a similar move, or even something bigger in 2025. The Steelers have historically been smart about mid-season trades, especially when they see an opportunity to strengthen their roster for a playoff run. With a talented receiver like Meyers possibly on the market, it wouldn't be surprising if the Steelers, always looking to improve, consider swooping in if the price is right. Now, let's dig a little deeper into what this means for the Steelers and their current roster. Pittsburgh's offense has been a work in progress. They have a solid core with Kenny Pickett leading the way, but they've been missing that dynamic, reliable receiver who can stretch the field or make those tough catches in traffic. Meyers, with his route-running ability and hands, could bring a lot to the table. He's someone who's shown he can produce, especially in critical situations, and he'd be a perfect fit for the Steelers' offensive scheme. Plus, with the team's focus on building around a young quarterback like Pickett, adding a veteran who fights for every yard and fights for his team could be exactly what they need to elevate their offense to the next level. But it's not just about the on-field fit. It's also about the culture. The Steelers have always been a team that values loyalty, toughness, and playing with a chip on your shoulder. Meyers' story of fighting for his career aligns perfectly with that ethos. If he joins Pittsburgh, he'd be another piece in the puzzle of a team that's always striving for that elusive Super Bowl title. And let's not forget, the Steelers' front office has a history of making bold moves at the right time, whether it's trading for a key player or drafting someone who becomes a franchise cornerstone. They've shown time and again that they're not afraid to make moves that might seem risky but pay off big time. Now, looking at the bigger picture, this situation with Meyers also highlights how unpredictable this NFL season is shaping up to be. The AFC North is fiercely competitive, with teams like the Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, and Cleveland Browns all vying for supremacy. Pittsburgh knows that to stay competitive and make a real run, they need to be aggressive and smart in their roster moves. If the Raiders do decide to trade Meyers, it could be a game-changer, especially if the Steelers manage to land him before the deadline. It's about adding that missing piece, that game-changer who can turn close games into wins, and Meyers certainly fits that description. It's also worth noting that the Steelers have shown they're willing to take calculated risks in recent years. Remember when they traded for Mike Williams late in the season? That move paid dividends and helped them push deep into the playoffs. If they see Meyers as that kind of piece, you can be sure they'll be monitoring the situation closely. The Steelers' front office has always been shrewd when it comes to trades, and with their history of making impactful midseason moves, it wouldn't be surprising at all if they're already strategizing about how to swoop in if Meyers becomes available. And of course, this entire situation also puts the spotlight on Meyers himself. He's not just fighting for a new team or a better contract. He's fighting for his future, his reputation, and his opportunity to shine on a team that has a real shot at the playoffs and beyond. The Steelers are known for their winning culture, their relentless pursuit of excellence, and their ability to turn underrated players into stars. If Meyers ends up in Pittsburgh, it could be the start of a new chapter for him, one where he's not just fighting for a paycheck but fighting to be part of something bigger, something that could lead him to a Super Bowl ring. So, what does all this mean for fans? Well, it's a story that's still unfolding, and it's one that could dramatically impact the landscape of the AFC North and the NFL as a whole. The Steelers are always looking for ways to improve, and this situation with Meyers exemplifies that hunger. Whether he ends up in Pittsburgh or not, it's a reminder that this season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, full of surprises, strategic moves, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. And for Steelers fans, it's about staying tuned, staying engaged, and cheering for your team as they navigate this roller coaster ride of a season. Because in the end, it's all about that passion, that loyalty, and that unyielding hope that your team will rise to the occasion and bring home another Super Bowl trophy. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this situation with Jakobi Meyers? Do you think the Steelers should make a move if he becomes available? Would you love to see him in the black and gold, fighting for those yards and making those clutch catches? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and all the latest news on your favorite team. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, let's go Steelers!